The Boston Gay Men's Chorus has a performance coming up this weekend, including the premiere of a work based on its recent tour of the Middle East. To tell us about what's being planned is our guest from the chorus, the music director, Reuben Reynolds III. Thank you very much for being with us.
Good to see you again.
And great to have you back here. Tell us about this trip.
The trip was everything that I could have believed it could be and more. Meeting the people, seeing the sites that I've always heard about, but mainly our interaction and seeing how people live on the other side of the world was a wonderful experience. We were in small towns on the edge of the desert. We were in Tel Aviv. We were in Istanbul. And it was such three different experiences. And then to be in Jerusalem, to be the first gay group to ever appear in a performance in Jerusalem was something else.
What was the audience reaction like?
The audience reaction was quite wonderful. In Jerusalem, we sang for an organization that sponsored the Gay and Lesbian Center in town at a huge YMCA that was built with an auditorium in it to have a safe space where all four monotheistic religions could be at the same time and have discourse. So to be part of that discourse was just quite wonderful.
Chris, one of the things that this chorus has always done was allow people a way to be visible, but also to push the boundaries of just the definition of being gay or lesbian. And you're doing that for people that you visited too.
Exactly. You know, we like to say that we go tell our stories and that we can change the world with our music just by being true to who we are and telling our stories, to share our stories, to share our struggles of the gay rights movement here with a group of people who are just starting that is so powerful.
Now, you also ran into some resistance in one of these countries, didn't you?
We did run into some resistance. In Istanbul, our concert was canceled at the last minute. So a university there that was actually started by a man from Boston said, come, we'd love to have you. So they set up this huge stage in a parking lot, brought sound equipment in, lighting. They had two big jumbotrons, cameras everywhere. The freakiest was on a big boom, and I would just be sitting here conducting. All of a sudden, this camera would just drop down in front of my face. That was a wonderful experience because of all of the ruckus about the concert being canceled and all the publicity we got. We wound up having around 4,000 at the concert itself. They finally had to cut it off and not let anyone else in.
And this is because Istanbul, from what I know about, is a very cosmopolitan, diverse city with all these cultural traditions.
I've always thought of it that way, but it seems that the government is getting more right-wing every day over there. We were worried when we first started planning this trip that our trouble would happen in Jerusalem or something like that. We thought Istanbul was easy. It turned out to be not so.
Well, we're going to bring up an excerpt.
When we arrived here in Ein Gedi, it was wonderful. They had full welcome.
The staff met us at the door. They greeted us. They made us feel right at home.
I've heard so much about the Dead Sea, how salty it is, how you get to float.
If you speak to a lot of people, you'll find that a lot of people that have came here, they all came with some type of story.
My name is Gila. I'm an Israeli. I love very much the Dead Sea. People who are looking for something that to make them to feel better. It's an experience to see how everyone doesn't become a child, but he plays and he puts the mud.
Embrace the mud. It's all about the mud.
I really want to thank you, Lord.
The minerals, they act as a great exfoliant.
They want to experience something else.
I'm hoping it's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see how I balance in all that salt water.
My expectations of going to the Dead Sea is to wash all my sins away.
This part of the country, the similarities and the differences are always the fun part of travel.
This is the only place where you can experience floating on the water.
Hi, my name's Michelle. What I was when I came and who I was when I came is not the same person 24 years later.
I myself, I was a singer in a choir for many years. My name is Mani. I grew up in Jerusalem, and after completing my army service, I came straight here.
We beseech thee, hear us, come sing about love. That caused us first to be, come sing about love. That made the stone and tree, come sing about love.
Reuben, here in Boston, you've got coming another concert, and there's going to be a piece in that concert that reflects on the tour in the Middle East. Tell us about that.
Right. A young composer, Joshua Shank, has written a piece for us. He actually wrote a piece last year that we did, and then we sang it all over the world on the tour. And it was called A Piece. And he came up with the idea having all the guys in the chorus complete the sentence, "I was at peace when," as many times as they wanted to. And then he combined all of this. And so Josh actually went on the tour with us, and he experienced the audience's reactions and experienced everything we did, and came back and wrote 3 more movements. The second movement is called Joy, and it just happened that we were at the Dead Sea, and there were people from all over the world. There were people of every color. There were fat people, thin people. And one of the chorus members says, it's really a neat thing. Everyone floats exactly the same at the Dead Sea. So that's the moral of that movement. The third movement, we were right outside the Hagia Sophia. And this man who was from England
And the great mosque, which was originally an Eastern Orthodox church.
Exactly. It was a church and then a mosque, and now it's a museum. But this English man says, "What is this SCOTUS and this ruling?" And it had turned out that just as we were about to walk in, the Supreme Court brought down their ruling about equal marriage. So it was somehow on the other side of the world to experience that was earth-shattering. So he wrote about that experience. And then the last one is, "You're capable of tomorrow. You can do anything you want in this world. All you have to do is get started, and before you know it, you've done it."
Well, of course, the real reason for many people to go to these concerts repeatedly is just the quality of the singing.
The quality of the thank you for that, and the fun we have. On the first half of the concert, we've never done anything like this. It's a piece called Twitter Lieder, and Lieder is German for song, so these are tweets set to music. It's 15 of them, and it tells the story of a life from being born to old age. And we have a video artist who has done all kinds of projections. And for each tweet, we see what Facebook might have looked like. And we see Facebook grow and get more modern as the person in the pictures gets older, and we follow his life.
Well, we should finally make sure people know about the details of the concert, when and where. And
coming up this Saturday and Sunday afternoon. Saturday night and Sunday afternoon at Jordan Hall at New England Conservatory of Music. You can get tickets easily at www.bgmc.org.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Reuben Reynolds III from the Boston Gay Men's Chorus.